Hello everyone, this video tutorial will show you how to create graphs for Mr. Barton's chemistry classes after completing your lab activities. After completing the lab, you'll receive a force copy link to a Google spreadsheet like this. You will need to be logged into your LVUSD Google account so that you can create a copy of the Google Sheet. This is so that you are not editing Mr. Barton's template. And are instead editing your individual document. Not every member of the lab group needs to go through this process. If we're doing it in class, one person can create and then distribute the graph to the rest of the lab group. However, if we are doing this process outside of class, it may be easier to just do it on an individual basis as opposed to attempting to coordinate someone creating and then distributing the graph. So once you have the copy of the document created, you're going to see a column designated for your independent variable and then a column designated for your dependent variable. In this case, the independent variable is going in column B and the dependent variable is going to go in column C. It is important that you talk to your lab group as well as Mr. Barton about which variable is independent and which variable is dependent so that we can have consistent graphing throughout the groups and class. Once you have done so, you're going to go ahead and type your data into the appropriate column. In my case, my independent variable progressed nicely by 1, and then my dependent variable jumped around a little bit. Didn't quite progress in the nice way that my independent did. You'll notice that as I entered the data into the appropriate columns, the graph automatically populated. If you type in numbers and your graph doesn't start to fill up with data points, that's probably an indication that you are typing in the inappropriate column. So for example, a lot of people type their independent variable in column A, and so it doesn't show up on the graph. Once you have all your data entered, you're ready to go ahead and finish tweaking the graph. The graph has a title for the entire graph, but it also has titles for each axis. For the chart title, you're going to write out your group members' names. In this case, I'm working by myself, so I'm just going to write my own name. And then you need to go into the axes titles and write your independent and dependent variables. So for my independent variable, I had strands of spaghetti in the bridge, and then for my dependent variable I had washers to break the bridge. Once you've done that, you're pretty much done working on the graph. There are other options that you can change, but this is all that you will need to do to be successful for Mr. Barton's class. However, you do need to get this graph out of the Google Sheet and into a format that you can insert into lab reports or otherwise share. So what we're going to do is we're going to click once in the graph area, and that will cause the triple dots to appear in the top right-hand corner. We're going to click on those, and we'll go under Download to select PNG Image. This is going to create an image file that you can view, that you can insert into lab reports or print to insert into your lab notebook. In our next video, we're going to go over what these numbers mean underneath the graph. For now, know that they are important and that you do not want to remove them from your graph. Okay, so today we went over what the document is going to look like after you create your force copy. We talked about where to enter the data so that it automatically shows up in the graph. We talked about how to format the graph and label it. And then we also talked about how to export that graph as an image file so that you can insert it into other documents. Thank you very much and have a nice day.